Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, I guess there's only one appropriate word here, and that's backfire. Or maybe we should lengthen it a little bit. Total, utter, embarrassing backfire. You know, I've spoken to so many people about this election. Like I always tell you guys, I'm always having conversations with people, and a lot of the times it becomes political. They don't know who I am or what I do, we just have cordial conversations. But in these conversations, I've heard the same thing so many times. The view that identity politics is toxic in nature, or that it's lacking substance. We tried to warn them. You gotta run on actual issues, you gotta run on track record, on policy. You can't just say, I'm black, therefore vote for me, or I'm Asian, vote for me, I'm white, vote for me, I'm a woman, vote for me. You need a little bit more than that. Can you connect with people based on your identity? Sure, but it's gotta be secondary or even tertiary. In no way should it ever be the main focus. It can be a factor, absolutely, in a way that you connect with voters. Listen, I've been there, done that, I've had these same experiences as you, therefore I understand what you're going through. That's totally fine. But to lead with race, and especially in a disingenuous manner like Kamala Harris has, to all of a sudden, for the first time in like 50 years, start pretending as if you're really down with the culture, it's just so fake, it's demeaning and condescending, and people are looking for more. It was obvious this was going to backfire, folks. And I mean, Democrats really leaned into it this season. We all remember that Barack Obama moment.
When you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome, and you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
Listen, black men, you guys gotta vote for Kamala Harris because she shares your skin complexion. What an incredible insult that was. And holy frickin' moly did it backfire, and backfire spectacularly. Let's have a conversation about that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so like I said, obviously the expectation of racial pandering is that you're gonna make significant gains within those racial groups, but it doesn't seem that's the way that it played out, huh? Certainly not in Georgia.
All right, this is the first time we can break this down. Among black voters and their support for Kamala Harris, while strong, she is below where Biden was in 2020, 4 years ago. This number for Biden was more like 91. So she's running about 8 points behind where Biden was with the black vote in Georgia in 2020. Joe Biden in 2020 had this number at about 87%. Okay, so right now she's running about 13 points with black men behind where Joe Biden was in 2020. Joe Biden with black women in Georgia 4 years ago was at 95% of their support. She is also running behind with them by about 6 points.
Very early on in the night, Fox News reported, based on their exit polls, that Kamala Harris lost black voters like no other Democrat candidate before her. Just think about it. I mean, she's supposed to be the person who's got this deep connection to these voters, but she underperformed Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden's numbers. That's insane. And it tells us one thing. It's a complete repudiation of vapid, substanceless identity politics and pandering. It's completely over for the argument, vote for me because of your identity. I mean, holy moly, and it wasn't just black men, that's the crazy part. That was always the suggestion. Even though Democrats denied it, Kamala Harris certainly denied it.
What is your strong push to any black man right now that feels like you're not speaking directly to them and about the things that they should care about for their families and for themselves?
Well, Lauren, I have to tell you back to what Charlamagne is shouting in the background. The brothers aren't saying that.
Kamala Harris denied that it was happening. Not a worry in the world. Anybody even suggesting it, I guess, is paranoid or spreading some sort of conspiracy. But in the end, it seems like it wasn't just black men, but also black women. Now, of course, we're talking about small shifts, but a shift nonetheless. And, even if it's a relatively small shift, it's still significant. Kamala Harris underperformed with even black female voters. That's crazy considering the whole shtick that she had was vote for me because I share your skin complexion and vote for me because girl power. I mean, the whole narrative that we've been subjected to for the last couple of months has been that women are going to rise up and vote for Kamala Harris like you've never seen before and save the world from orange Cheeto Hitler. That's what they've been saying, right? But apparently that isn't the case at all, as Kamala Harris isn't only underperforming with women in general as Donald Trump overperformed with men, but she also underperformed with black women. That's supposed to be her bread and butter. But again, Joe Biden did better than she did. I guess talking about washing your colored greens in the bathtub wasn't a compelling message after all.
I have a friend who had a Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for a party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
Oh man, who would have seen this one coming? I don't know who's advising these Democrats, but I'll tell you, a whole lot of people should be fired. What an absolutely embarrassing affair. But what I'm really hoping for here is really an end to this vapid, cringe identity politics nonsense. I mean, I don't want to give the Democrats too much advice, but Kamala Harris would have performed better had she never spoken about race. I think that was probably one of her biggest problems, this hyperfixation on stuff that really just doesn't matter. People perceived it as fake. I mean, just think about it. Again, let's make the comparison to Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. Hillary Clinton went on the Breakfast podcast and talked about how she keeps hot sauce in her purse all the time, and Hillary Clinton, I think, was perceived as more genuine than Kamala Harris to a lot of minority voters. That is wild. Kamala Harris has racial ambiguity going for her, but they delved into it so deep, they made it such a hyper focus of the campaign that it just ended up coming off so incredibly disingenuous and backfired like never seen before. It's just incredible. And I guess all those polls the Democrats were so quick to dismiss, I guess they ended up being right in the end, huh? First in Georgia, then affecting the blue wall in the Rust Belt.
The Michigan race is absolutely fascinating. So, right, it's part of this so-called blue wall, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And you have pointed out, though, that there might be some cracks in that wall, specifically in Michigan. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. There are severe cracks cutting into the core Democratic constituency here in Michigan. And the question is there enough support to hold the blue wall solid? Now, if you look just at Wayne County, you see two constituencies that have been traditionally Democratic that Trump has made inroads on, the first of which is African-American votes. It's crucial in Detroit, in Wayne County. In fact, this was solidly Democratic until 2016. Hillary narrowly lost Wayne County by about 10,000 votes because of relatively lower African-American turnout after the Obama administration. Now, that said, there has been a lot of doubling down on the African-American turnout here, but we talked to the Secretary of State's office. They told us that they don't believe that Wayne County turnout is going to even match 2020 numbers, which is not a good sign for the Harris camp. In addition to that, Wayne County also has the largest percentage of Arab American voters, and we talked to so many Arab American voters who say they just can't bring themselves to vote for Harris because they are so upset about the war in Gaza. They say that even knowing that on some level Trump would be even more pro-Israel on the Gaza issue. We talked to one Democrat, lifelong Democrat, who said she was a Bernie supporter. She voted for Biden, but she couldn't bring herself to vote for Harris. She went with Jill Stein, the independent candidate. And that kind of depressed turnout may be what we're seeing in Wayne County, and that is a trouble sign. The question is, can Democrats hold that blue wall?
Instantly, very early on in the night, the mainstream media reporting major cracks in the blue wall as minority voters ditch Kamala Harris. I'm just ecstatic, folks. I'm just happy. It doesn't get any better than this. We've been watching this craziness ongoing for such a long time, just hoping that sanity would prevail, and it seems as though that's exactly the case. Finally, this identity politics nonsense has officially backfired. 2023 and 2024, it seems now represent the end of an era, the end of racist DEI policies, and hopefully the end of this vapid identity politics nonsense. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.